why did we have crazy friends? We got subjected to that.
I don't know, man.
You can't just be like, hey, look at this, and then show somebody a beheading video.
Hey, Taylor Price, my guy.
Here comes the kitty already.
Yeah, like this is the podcast just like freshly starts getting started, and you're like, yeah, this is all about me now.
This is his time.
This is the other part that I knew would happen, but most people don't get to see is like behind the scenes. Like,
Yeah, what do you got to say, bud?
yeah. Tell the world what got you into coffee, little guy.
Yeah, I don't
He just ran away from EJ when he was here.
really.
Saw a big black man and was like, "F this." Like, dude, you are black. Like,
Right.
what are you? How are you running away?
Yeah. Yeah, again, I would just say mom got me into it, and yeah, it stuck ever since. And then it kind of evolved over time where I started to try black coffee with creamer,
Yeah,
and
which is how you should drink it, but most people are saying now that it hurts you or whatever. I'm like, dude,
what
So-
hurts you?
creamer apparently.
Well, I mean, like the dairy part of it, or what do they say?
I guess it's just like it's bad for you in coffee. Like it's like
Oh, 'cause, I mean, it's definitely not good. It's sugar, dairy, and yeah, calories. I mean, for those who are trying to lose weight, it's definitely not good. People who have too much sugar in their diet probably should drink less of it. Like, I mean, these coffees probably have at least 50% of our daily sugar,
yeah.
if not more.
I'm for me, sugar is gonna be fine, but like yeah, like most people are probably like over their calorie intake when they already have one of these coffees.
So what makes you think that sugar is you're fine with sugar?
Maybe
You're fine with over your
it's my metabolism right now.
So that's the thing though, is I don't think sugar it's we're getting it's funny that we're talking about this, but I don't think it's just about you like losing weight or gaining weight. I think it's just not good for your health in general.
Yeah.
It's not good for your teeth. Not good for your heart. You
Well,
know
then what
I mean?
about like the sweetened lows and like the 0-calorie sweeteners? 'Cause I'd be drinking bunches of those.
I mean,
the only thing it does is make me shit at work.
I mean, it's probably anything artificial. That's really the whole point. Is like sugar is not inherently bad. Like natural sugars, like fruits and stuff like that.
yeah. Yeah, those natural sugars.
But it's just the corn syrup part. It's the processed,
Yeah.
the processed stuff. So that's the thing about those diet stuff and the 0-calorie stuff is it still has a bunch of processed sweeteners in there. So, and it's funny that I say it because I still drink plenty of sugar or consume plenty of sugar.
Well, you tweeted something that was like, "What? I can't believe how many people drink coffee." Because like we know the downfalls of it, or we at least know that it's not like the most beneficial thing for us, and yet we drink it every single day.
It's addicting. We all have our vices. It's
Oh, some of us have more vices than others. I mean, I will say, I'm lucky. I feel like for what we have, like comparatively, like,
Right.
there's probably crazier
yeah,
people out there. but-
and coffee does a great thing is it gets people together and it's a social thing, kind of like drinking is, and except far less consequences. And
yeah. I mean,
what do
there.
I taste like, little guy?
Is he looking you now?
Yeah, he's been licking me for a while.
Well, I mean, he's gonna have more opportunity to do that because I don't know if mom and dad told you, but we're moving to the townhome.
Nice, that's awesome. No, they didn't tell me that, but
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I've been waiting since you got here to be
Yeah.
like tell you because I was like, this is. I was like, we were talking about sets and stuff for the podcast. I was
Yeah.
like, I want to do this. I want to do that. It's gonna be way easier.
Well, that's awesome,
Because
man.
I'm gonna have a dedicated room to producing
Heck
content.
yeah, there's 3 rooms in there, right?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. So
Hell
the
yeah.
room, there's 2 rooms upstairs. One of them that you and I used to stay
Mhm.
in, and then the people. Do you remember those guys across the street? we
Yeah,
would play
I remember
Halo
those
with?
guys.
Yeah,
I was just talking about them the other day. That I think we were talking to people about LAN
Oh yeah.
parties.
Because they were the first people that I knew about it because they connected their Xboxes and we played Halo 2 in their basement, in their darkest of all dark basements. And I
Did
was-
they have red carpet or
No,
red
you-
walls or something? Or
You are absolutely correct. They had red floor. They had like a red carpet.
or
that
maybe
was
like a maroon or
it was
something?
like thick. It was like that
Yeah.
thick carpet.
Mhm.
Yep. No, you and I remember that. So I'm moving base. I'm back to old roots and stuff, and it feels good to say that I get to build like my own content room
Hell yeah.
basically. And Gabe.
When are you doing that? When are you moving in?
after the wedding?
Nice.
So-
Like how
August. At the end of August. So like,
nice. When's your lease up here?
at the end of August.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna move in, and yeah, I mean, this place is obviously nice. Like we
Oh, yeah.
we really like this place, but the
house is gonna be definitely an upgrade for
yeah,
sure.
and we're gonna be close to you guys, and then that
Heck
way
yeah.
we can. I mean, it's gonna be maybe an extra 2 or 3 mile drive for me to work now, but like I don't care. I've commuted.
Where do you work again?
I work back in West End where I used to at Chase, except for just at a different company.
What's West End again? Sorry.
St. Louis Park.
Okay.
Yeah, just right off of
Okay.
of Highway 100 and 394. So like I'm back at the West End Plaza, and I get to be close to my friends at Chase, and I get to, I don't know, work at a cool new job that I don't know. I feel like I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
No, it's still it's a big upgrade, I think, in your life.
Especially around a wedding, like that's like you want to move up in the world, like
Absolutely.
after a wedding. So, but
Yeah, it's literally. I mean, it's a townhouse, but it's a house. You're not
Yeah.
no longer in an apartment with sharing parking lot with a bunch of people, and so you're gonna be sharing it. You're not even sharing. You have your own driveway, obviously, your own garage. It's
yeah,
you have mom and dad as the landlords. You know what I mean? So there
that's
you go.
That honestly, like there's a part of me that was like, I don't mind that mom is gonna be my landlord, but at the same time, like there's a little like some people are gonna, oh, you're renting for your mom, this and that. Like I don't care. Like like I'm gonna make
And they
jokes
don't even
about
need to know that either. Who
No.
cares? Like it's not their business.
I'm gonna make jokes about it and be like, I live in my mom's basement.
I think it's dumb. I think it's dumb for. I mean, I think jokes are jokes. People can make jokes if they want, but I think, if anything, it's more disrespectful if you don't take advantage of the things that your parents are trying to gift you or not gift you, or just like when they're trying to help you out in the world. Like,
Yeah,
I think it's almost doing a disservice to the people who don't have that opportunity to just not accept it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
if they're offering help or they're just making things a little bit easier on you, and as long as you don't take it for granted, right, or take advantage of it, obviously. But
yeah. The thing I love about mom and dad is like they're not trying to take every like shortcut for us. Like they're really trying to help us learn. And I think that's something that as a parent, like in the future, I'm looking forward to doing. Is like not giving my kid every answer, but helping him find the answer.
yeah,
I think that's what mom and dad
yeah.
are good at. So I'm pretty thankful for that. The other thing, about being closer is like, your family is like a sense of community. And when mom and dad left Montana, I could tell that they were, I feel like they still feel lonely sometimes. Like as parents, there's a lot of people who still hang out with like their high school friends.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And like mom and dad are so far away from their high school friends that like I have a feeling like they feel cooped up, and that's why like they go out and play golf and they go out and make these friends.
For sure. And I think they had that sense of community in our old neighborhood in Grand Rapids, though.
1000%.
So that helps a lot.
That neighborhood alone, I think when we go back and think about it, like we had it pretty damn good.
Oh, for sure. That was the most fun time of my life, for sure.
As a kid, I think we probably had more fun as kids than most kids got to, and I'm blessed for that. But it was like the night games that we played. It was like riding our bikes in the middle of the night. Like we really took advantage of having a very
we would
good neighborhood.
we'd play kickball or wiffle ball in that like cul-de-sac area. We spray painted a football field in our backyard.
I mean, we
had a batting cage in our backyard.
We played tennis ball in our front yard too, and like
Yep.
so much so that our neighbors were like, "Hey, like you're hitting." Like we got so good at hitting a tennis ball a long way because Dad was like, "They'll never hit it.
Right.
They'll never hit the other person's house. It's way
Yeah.
too far."
We sure did.
2 weeks later, you and I are just cranking homers off Dad. Like,
But that's what made that neighborhood good, is that we knew all the neighbors, so they didn't really get that mad.
They just go, "Hey Matt, hey Matt, tell your sons to stop cranking dingers off my house." Yeah, sorry, folks across the street, Mike and Natalie.
Yeah, Mike and Natalie Rumble.
We were opposite field hitters because that's right center. If we're righties,
Yeah,
that's right
I
center.
mean, we would hit it at the guy with I forget his name, but the guy with
the motorcycles.
Craig.
Yeah, Craig. Yeah, Craig.
Craig, guy with the motorcycles. That was
such-
the OG.
He was such a nice guy, except
Yeah.
for the one time he yelled at us for snowboarding in his backyard. Were you there for that?
I mean, I think I remember that. I remember always snowboarding in his backyard. I do remember that.
We made a jump one year. We made our own little jump. It wasn't that big. I had landed on my butt like 4 times. He comes out. What are you kids doing? Dude, what are you doing? And I was just like, this is the nicest dude I've ever met. Finally yelling at me, and I had no idea.
Yeah.
So I was very confused.
I remember when he got in a crash and he came
Oh,
back and he just was different. He didn't come out the house. He didn't really ride his bikes anymore. And
Yeah, he was very tenderfoot after that
Yeah.
because I mean I've seen some horrible accidents on TikTok, and like there's this lady, like there are 2 people riding a motorcycle and they're like, oh, a lady up ahead of us that we're friends with crashed, and they get up to her and there's a boot, and then they drive past the boot, and you get up to the lady and there's like her leg and it's just missing the boot, and you're like, oh, that was her foot.
Yeah.
And like the TikTok didn't explain it very well, so I had to watch it a couple times and then read the comments. People were like, "Yeah, that was her foot." I was like, "Oh, yeah, that was horrific."
Yeah.
I mean, we're regressing, like as a society, in my opinion. We're going back to like the beheading videos again. Like we really have come full circle.
Yeah, that's for sure.
We have to revive E-Bomb's world.
I don't even know what that is.
You're-
I think I know what that is, but I
You were young
don't know
enough.
that specific.
You were young enough, so you were born '97.
I've definitely seen those videos, but I would always look away when
Yeah.
Ben and Ryan would watch those.
So your friends did do that to you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You and I were sensible because you and I didn't look that stuff up. I didn't look it up, and now that I can confirm that you
Yeah,
didn't.
no. Yeah, absolutely not.
Why did we have crazy friends? We got subjected to that.
I don't know, man.
That is not fair. You
I
can't
don't
just
know.
you can't just be like, hey, look at this, and then show somebody a beheading video. Because it's so much easier now. You can just like be looking something up on your phone privately and be like, hey, I got something funny to show you.
Yeah.
And show it, and I'd be like, oh.
Yeah, no. I've got multiple times. People told me to search a certain website, and I did, and regretted it instantly.
I'd so much rather be rickrolled. 1,000%. Like, what would you rather
I
do?
don't even think most people even know what that is anymore.
Exactly. I'd still rather have that happen to me. Okay, if somebody got me with that old meme, I'd just fucking laugh.
Mhm.
I'd have to be like, yeah, that was my fault. I should recognize the URL at this point.
Right.
I've seen it so many times.
Yeah.
Like go through like a Twitch chat, and somebody's like, check out this cool video, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, I'm way too curious, and I click the link, and never gonna give you up. Just like,
That's not even like a troll though. They didn't even set you up. They just said, "Come watch this video."
yeah, and it's funnier when somebody's like, check out my channel, and like I'm actually interested to see their channel because like I'm not like I like when people, I know it's stupid, but like and don't come into my fucking comments and do this, but I like when other people do it. They go into other people's channels and like spam their link, and everyone's gets mad, and I'm like, well, I want to see why they're confident enough to go in there and just do it.
Right.
Most of the time, it's somebody with like 20 subscribers who has no videos, and it's like, check out my channel. It's like you don't have any content to check out.
Right.
But then somebody who posts content doesn't do that because
I've seen people who post content do that on Instagram. They
Okay.
for sure do that on Instagram. Like
Yeah.
everybody, any popular post, there's people in the comments that are just saying stuff to be like, "Hey, check me out."
I don't like that. I mean, I like it when it's somebody bad, because it's almost like on Kill Tony when somebody like a bad comment comes up. I'm actually interested to see them rise through the ashes because
Right.
like I want them to be bad and then somehow like own the interview, and then Tony's like, yeah, like that was
Yeah.
that was impressive. Like somehow he just didn't grasp it.
I need to go to one of those shows,
we
man.
do. I want to
I
go.
would love to go to Austin.
That would be so cool.
That'd be really cool.
Did you watch the special?
Yeah, I watch every episode. Absolutely.
That is, I mean, I got updates for it. Like, literally at 8 p.m. my phone's
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is on. Like at the Ali
He
Sadiq episode.
he released a special one on Friday as well.
Yeah, the
Watch that one.
500 special, or is it like the 10-year anniversary?
No,
basically?
that was on Monday, but then he released the episode that would have came on Monday.
Oh
He
yeah, that's right. He
it's-
did Ali Sadiq.
Yep. 100. Yep.
Yeah, Ali Sadiq is fucking hilarious. His stories about prison are fucking. They're so fucking funny.
On Joe Rogan's podcast, is that
Well,
where you heard him?
That and actually, What Is Happening, the Ari Shafir comedy.
Okay, he was on that too.
He was on that
Okay.
too. Yeah, he was talking about like a prison break, and I was just like, that's fucking hilarious. He talked about boots. He's like, you gotta. The Mexicans got on boots. Like that's how you know in prison that the riot's about to happen is
Right.
when the Mexicans got on boots
Yeah,
because this shit's about to go down. About to stomp somebody.
that's funny.
That was the other thing I was like, I wanted to update on was like that and like UFC. Like,
Mm-hmm.
did you watch UFC last
Yeah,
night?
did
Like
you?
that was probably one of the best cards
Yeah.
I've seen in a while.
For sure, that was amazing. I unfortunately missed the Robert Whitaker and
Oh yeah, Duplessis.
yeah, because we were up north and we couldn't really get service up in Brandon, Minnesota.
I missed that fight too. I was making food and I came back to Duplessis and Stylebender.
Izzy, yeah,
It
that
just,
was hilarious.
that was awkward.
I think I swear. I mean, I think Izzy might have been a little drunk, but I swear to you, he was talking to his friends, and he was probably telling them, hey, watch this. I'm gonna try and get this dude to say the N-word right now. It was so funny. He was like, "Oh, you're my African brother. You're my African brother," and then he just kept dropping the N-word, and he was like, you gonna say it? You gonna say it back?" Drickus was just like, what's his name?
Drickus Duplessis.
Drickus. He was just sitting there like, you are no brother of mine. Like
DDP is what, which freaking great branding for him. Lucky guy. DDP.
DDP. Oh, that's his
Drickus Duplessis.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Bro, Diamond Dallas Page only wishes. No, but that was fucking. I think that was the closest I've ever seen a white man getting baited to anything.
That was for sure. That was bait.
That was
bait.
And I'm sure Stylebender was sitting there just like, do it.
Do it. That was hilarious because it was really cringy at first, and I was like, Izzy's smarter than this. He is being funny right now. He is trying to get him to say it, and he's probably a little drunk, so
Yeah.
he was just like,
Well, he stirred him down after the knockout. I mean, Stylebender has already knocked out Whitaker and beat him twice. So
Right.
like Duplessis being like, "Look at me now." It's like, dude, I did that already.
dude, that sucks, dude. Bobby Knuckles,
Oh, I love.
he used to be my favorite fighter, man.
You talked about him a lot, and I like loved watching his fights after you mentioned him because I would check out his combo videos and like he really is a unique kind of fight. Like the way he holds his hands, the way he throws his jab, like the way he has his ducking roundhouse, like all of that stuff. I was like, man, like you really pull for a guy like that too because he had all those ACL injuries and
Yeah, he went on a tear, man. He went on a tear for a little bit when he went to middleweight, and yeah, Izzy wasn't even in the UFC when he was my favorite fighter, and then Izzy came. I was like, I like this guy a lot, and I mean, just like a lot of people, but he became a lot of people's favorite fighter, just like he did mine.
he became my favorite fighter a little bit before the Anderson Silva fight, and then he cemented it after that with the Costa fight.
Mm-hmm.
I was like that was the perfect kind of just amalgamation of like, I'm sick of this guy fucking chirping. I just want to shut him up and like not just shut him up but like piece him up because he kicked every part of his leg. Dude never switched stances and just then after that was like, all right, I'll pick you apart from waist up now, and just started and then finally put the one behind his ear that knocked him out. So I was like, it's tough to me to see like anybody beating Izzy, and then when you watch the bigger guys beat him and stuff like Pereira and Blachowicz, you're like, okay, this guy's vulnerable, but he really is only outclassed by these kind of like big beefy guys.
Oh,
right
for
now.
sure. Just like if someone's really good at grappling and they can, like Bo Nickel might give him a little bit of a problem. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's a pure wrestling guy who is looking to.
I mean, he just got a knockout last night though, so it's like he can at least survive on the feet, I think, and he would probably be able to take Izzy down. As much as I would rather Izzy win, that's scary.
That's a tough one. But Bo Nickel needs to get some more fights, I think.
Oh, for sure.
They're definitely gonna bring him up a little slower.
They're definitely gonna do it slow. That's what Dana keeps saying. But you know, since when has Dana ever lied? You know what I mean? Never.
But when you knock out. But when you knock out guys quickly like that, it ends up shooting you up that ladder a little quicker. I mean, it happened to O'Malley. I think O'Malley, if he would have shown like more parts of his game, I think that, not saying that he doesn't have like a great boost right now, but I feel like he'd be in like the contender spot more if he was showing that he was just as well rounded on the ground. But he's such a great striker. It's like, it's hard to, like, he's a Showtime guy.
Yeah, for
and that's why I feel like Gaethje did the same thing. Like Gaethje obviously is a great wrestler. He was so good at wrestling. That's why he used that as a defense. Like you tried taking Gaethje down, and he's like, not gonna happen. world class wrestler, and I can knock you out with insane power.
Yeah, I wonder if they just don't like to wrestle. Like it's just it gasses them out too much, and they don't want to do it.
Yeah, carrying somebody else's weight. I mean,
Yeah.
you and I both know that fucking shit sucked. We had 3 wrestling cousins that would just pick us
Oh,
apart
yeah.
at Christmas.
I was gonna say, wait, how do we know about that? Yeah, no,
yeah,
no,
the rug burns.
It's different.
I still remember the rug burns from them, dude. Fuck.
yeah, that wasn't fun.
And David screaming every time we would jump. We dog pile on him. That was the best. You and I getting dragged through the rug for like 20 minutes, and then David finally's like, "All right, I'll jump in here," and then we all jump on him.
Yeah,
I was like, "Yeah, this feels good."
yeah, good times, good times.
Well, yeah, that's why like when I went and I watched Braden. He had torn something in his knee before, so he had just came off of 5 months of recovery, still wearing the brace, has no conditioning. He had 5 matches. He won all 5 matches, and anytime you get pushed off the mat, there's like a reset.
Mm-hmm.
He would sprint back. Back to the center of the fucking mat.
Wow.
He would run back to the center, and even
Damn.
the guys who were in perfect condition were sitting there like, what the hell? Like, dude, you don't have to run. He's like, no, I'm beating. Like, it was a mental thing. He was gassed by match 2. He told me.
Yeah.
I was literally like rubbing his arms like this, like both arms, both legs, like just trying to get that lactic acid out of his legs, because he was just like, dude, my legs feel like bricks. So I was trying to help him just like get some water in his system, and like I was like, dude, just don't move. Like, I'll just sit there and freaking. 2 matches later, he's got 1 more match still, and he's like, I don't think I can do the last one. And you know his mom is a freaking hard ass. He's like, no, you're doing the last one. He goes out and pins the guy in the first like 3 minutes, and I was just
awesome.
like, he's like, I'm not doing the whole 10, 15 minutes. I'm just gonna end this quickly.
Yeah.
That made me realize our cousins are different breeds,
Yeah.
dude. Like those wrestling dudes they're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They are crazy. I couldn't imagine waking up in Dagestan and just they're like, what are you doing today? And you're like, God, I gotta grapple like 14 sweaty Russians today.
Or a bear.
Or a bear. What are you doing?
You're trying to press the power button.
Yeah, you trying to turn off the this is done. This is over with.
He's gotten really big, actually.
Yeah, no,
Surprised how fast he's grown.
he's getting chunky, so I'm just slowing him down on food. Going to 1.5 cups per serving now, because yeah, he's getting tubby. He's a tubby little chunky little boy. He's gonna go lay down.
Yeah, our cats aren't really eating their kibble very much, so we've been like almost feeding them like a wet diet recently.
Okay.
And I've been hearing a lot of people saying that it's healthier for them because they don't drink very much water.
Yeah.
But I feel like my cats drink a lot of water too, so I don't know.
This dude will only drink. He drinks water, and he'll drink it out of his little tub thing that's over there. We have like a water jug over there too, but he loves water in a cup.
Yeah.
Like you put a water. He's like, is that for me? he starts seeing that water. He's like, mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. I like cats that. There's a lot of cats that do that, I feel like.
Oh yeah, he's very vocal with like if I'm in the other room or if the door's closed, like and I've started to learn his meows, and TikTok is stupid and it's like trying to get me to do all these.
I've seen one of those.
Yeah, it's like the and like
Yeah,
he doesn't do it. He looks at me, he's like, "The fuck you say to me, bitch?" Like he just doesn't care. But when I say real words to him, he follows wherever I go. So
Well, all about the tone.
he has more cola in him than any cat that I've ever been around. Like when I say cola, so me and Mason had a cat named Cola. You named him, which was a perfect name for him, by the way. Whenever I was like, well, how'd you come up with that? And I go, I came up with Pepsi.
Mm-hmm.
And,
That was the first cat.
and my brother I gave you the handoff basically.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
just,
easy. It was easy when Cola came.
It was
I was
a
like,
walk-in touchdown.
Yeah, that I know what the name's gonna be. It's
Yeah.
Cola.
But the best part was when we found him, Mom and Dad were like, obviously they didn't want another cat, but we put up ads saying like, hey, did you lose your cat? Somebody contacts Mom and Dad, and they say that this cat's name is Ralph. And he had been with us for a week, maybe 10 days. And by that time, you had already started calling him Cola, and I was reluctantly...
Wait, so who said that the cat's name was Ralph?
Some lady responded to the ad.
How would she know what the cat's name is?
She said that when she saw the picture, she knew that that was her cat, Ralph. That was her cat.
That was her cat, so why didn't we give it back to her then?
Because when I looked at the cat and I screamed his name, Ralph, because she said, if you say Ralph, he'll come to you. I looked at my mom was like, we got to try. And I was like, all right, watch this. I looked at him dead. Like he was, milling about. And I'm like, Ralph. Nothing. Not even an ear twitch. I go, Ralph. Nothing. I'm like, Ralph. Nothing. I go, Cola. And he goes,
how long did we have him for?
10 days. You had started calling him Cola after like day 7, I want to say.
I'm still so confused because I've never heard this story. So, some lady
Responded to the...
and said it was her cat, and we didn't give her cat back.
Because it wasn't her cat.
How would we know that?
Because she said all these things about the cat, first of all, that were not true. Second of all, she couldn't even say where she lost the cat. And we said, like, hey, like, where did you... This is where we found the cat. There's only a few places where, like, how far the cat would be able to go from. She was nowhere near that area.
Huh, that's weird. I always just remember Dad telling me the story that nobody responded to the American Humane Society or whatever.
Somebody responded, but it was not the owner. Definitely not. Because when me and Mom were in the kitchen and I did that, the cat didn't even flinch.
That was the reasoning why we didn't think it was her cat, though, other than the fact that she couldn't recall where.
She said, there's just nothing added up.
Yeah.
Nothing she was saying added up whatsoever.
Right.
Not one bit.
I mean, at the end of the day, the cat was gone. It was malnourished and it was gone for a while.
We're not going to give the cat back to you. Like, we were not going to. And I looked at, after I said Cola and he looked at me, I looked at Mom and I go, that's our cat. I was like, that's our cat now. And my mom kind of just was like, all right, I guess that's ours. And by that time, we had already gotten, like, the extra litter box. Like, I was like, what are we doing here?
Right.
Like, we love cats. Like, this is ours now.
All right.
Literally, we know he had a bunch of health problems and stuff that we just didn't notice right away.
Right. Yeah, no. I mean, I like the story of when Dad brought him home, he poured the cat some beer in Mike's dog's bowl when he was outside peeing. So he was scratching at the door to the garage to our old neighbors, and they have like a garage that has like a back door out to their backyard. They bring him in, they give him some beer, and like you said, in the little tub. And Dad said some crackers too, some Ritz crackers. They just broke them up, and I was like, if I was a cat, that'd be fucking dope. I'd follow whoever gave me the beer back home too. Yeah, right.
I'd be like, let's go. I love these people. But I mean, nobody there had a cat besides us. So, I mean, we were the logical choice to take the cat home. We brought him home. We still had those bean bags downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
He was walking with Mom and Dad down the stairs. Mom and Dad are kind of like sheltering him to like make sure, Pepsi didn't just run after him.
Mm-hmm.
Pepsi sees him from the futon and it's just like, nice. Just could not have cared whatsoever. Didn't even get up, didn't hiss, didn't just went, all right, went right back to sleep. But I was laying on the beanbag and I was trying to sleep and he was doing circles, meowing, like going crazy. And finally I just grabbed him, hugged him, and I'm like, dude, let's go to bed. And he kind of like looked around for a second, was like panting, and then he just finally just like crashed.
That's cute. Yeah, I don't remember the beginning days of having him very much.
He was thin. I have pictures.
Yeah, I do remember what he looked like, but yeah.
No, yeah, he was probably one of the best cats, just because like even during COVID, like he loved that we were around. He was always so cuddly.
He's definitely a good cat, man. I wouldn't say he's the best cat though. Come on, man. This man would pee on a lot of stuff. I know it wasn't his fault, but like I don't think that qualifies for being the best cat.
Bro had a UTI. I mean, I feel bad.
No, he had kidney stones.
That too.
Poor guy.
Yeah, he was.
Rest in peace to a real one.
I mean, he was healthy when he died. That's the thing. It's like we didn't know of any problems, and he just kind of got old. Like wasn't even that old either. And I think probably the health issues probably caught up with him.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was a day after I saw him last.
Yeah.
I came all the way from Farmington just to hang out. I don't even remember why. I just wanted to hang out. He was waiting for me at the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good cat, man.
That's why I love cats, man. They really do, like, they have their own personalities. Like each of your cats have their own personality.
For sure, man. No, yeah. I think they are very relatable to dogs. People think that dogs have more personality or dogs are better or whatever, and I love dogs too. It's just I think dogs are more work. That's really what it is. Comes down for me, is that I could be gone for a full day and I'd feel terrible for my dog. But
Yeah.
if I'm gone for a full day for my cats, I still feel bad, but it's like I know they'll be able to fend for themselves.
Yeah.
They got a
And
litter box to pee in. That's like the biggest thing, honestly.
even if you have 2 dogs or whatever, like, just because they're in a pair, it's still like dogs feed off of your emotions. So it's like when you're gone, they have separation anxiety.
Hmm. For sure, man.
Yeah.
Having a dog is a lot of responsibility.
And Zeke, how's Zeke doing? I mean,
I haven't seen him for a while. No, yeah, Zeke's the best dog ever, though. He's easy. He's small. He's a small black lab, which is like the cutest thing ever. Like,
yeah.
I wish that was our dog for sure.
Our parents babysit a dog.
It's weird.
So it's you basically get to help babysit.
Yeah,
They ask a
for
lot.
sure.
Mom asked me to drive from Plymouth one time to walk him because it was so cold
Really?
the last winter. Yeah. I got there and it was like -6, and Mom's like, I'm not going outside. And I brought Zeke out, and Zeke, I threw the ball, and Zeke grabbed the ball once and then like whipped it into the garage,
Yeah.
ran out for a second. I think he went to the bathroom, came back, and didn't even look at me and just ran straight to the door.
He's done that a few times when it's been like really cold on the ground.
He's just like, fuck
Yeah, he's
this.
like, hell no.
He's like, I'm a dog, but like, I'm not doing that.
Mhm.
Like, I got my shit done. We can go inside now.
Right.
I think he likes. I remember every time I would come over, he was just messing with his bed. He's just humping his bed, and then he's just like, you know what? The fire's nice. I think I should take a load off. That was a lot of humping I just did. Maybe
Yeah, he does do a lot of humping. That's for sure. He humps his bed a lot.
Like, damn, man, you can't get any action up. He's like, man, I'm shit between 2 houses and shit.
Yeah.
I can't get some
I
action.
think it's so funny that dogs that are fixed still hump. Like, that's just.
It's just in their nature somehow. They like keep.
Last night I was with I was around a dog named Chapo. He's what are they called? Like, it's like a bulldog or like a boxer or something like that.
Like a bull mastiff.
Something like that. Really cute guy. He had like a gold chain around. He's a little.
Oh my god.
He was a little. Yeah.
The people who put gold chains on their like pit bulls are just like look like linebackers.
Yeah, it's those dogs with a flat face. So
Yeah.
it's like more of like a pug
Yeah.
type of
I
dog,
can
but like
picture-
a
I can
big,
picture
like a
it.
big, like kind of beefier one. But anyways, and there's another dog, one of those. It's like an Australian Shepherd. They're like
Yeah.
it's like a high voice yappers, and yeah, Chapo was trying to hump the hell out of that girl dog, the Australian Shepherd, and it was very, very embarrassing for Chapo, for sure.
Chapo, what are you doing?
Yeah,
the
seriously,
dog
Chapo,
is way
what are
too
you
tiny,
doing,
bro.
man?
What are you doing?
We had to yell at him. That's all we were yelling all night. We're like, Chapo, stop! Come on, man, stop humping the dog. It's like, dude, you don't even you don't got nuts. Like, what the hell?
That's the other thing I don't like about the cat. He's got no nuts, so he's got no concept of like what that feels like when your nuts get stepped on. So he just steps on mine.
Oh, dude, that's the worst thing about cats is they don't care about your nuts.
They
man.
just
They
don't give
They
a
don't.
shit. They love to climb on you, and then they just like you're sleeping. I've been woken up, and I'm not kidding you, 3 nights in a row from him trying to play trampoline with my ball sack. Like he just straight up takes a jump from the top rope off of the headboard and goes straight
Yeah.
to my nuts.
This Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, Swanton bomb.
Oh my god. I can hear him just like, "By God, you just jumped from the top rope!" Wow, right on my nuts, and just a 3 a.m. just curtain call, just okay, I'm up.
Yeah.
And it's a delay. It's
What an asshole.
It's a delayed pain, and it's never like a fun pain. It's always like oh, this hurts. It's never like sometimes you get hurt and you can kind of laugh it off. Like when you hit your elbow. Like I hit my elbow getting out of the car. I like hit the funny bone, and I was just kind of like laughing. So I'm like, it hurts, but my fault.
Right.
But when you get hit in the nuts, it doesn't matter if you hit your own nuts. It just like it cripples you.
Dude,
Like,
stomach ache. Yeah, it's terrible.
someone told me, and I had to look this up, that like the reason it hurts is because that's where they come from. Your nuts come from your stomach.
I mean, yeah. I
Like the
could see,
pain, the
like,
pain signals, like where they're originally wired, is like in that lower area.
It's interesting. It's an interesting bit of knowledge.
I didn't know that. So
I mean-
like the reason it's delayed is because like the pain signal is so far from where it originates. And I'm like, what the?
I gotta be honest. And even just thinking about it, like this kind of makes my nuts hurt. So I'm trying not to think about it or picture that. I don't need to know.
It's just like when someone talks about an injury, like they talk about their
Yeah,
knee hurting,
good.
like my knee just starts to tingle.
It also depends on what state of mind I'm in as well. Like sometimes it's way worse. Like I can't hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Well, it's like that's like with like same thing like vomit too. Like I don't know how Dad does it. He's always in the state of mind to laugh at somebody vomiting. Like every second of every day, he could be like almost burning alive. I feel like, and somebody vomit next to him, he'd be like,
Yeah.
just
He likes to laugh at people's misfortunes. He's an AFV fan.
oh my God.
America's Funniest Video fan.
I've never seen a grown man chuckle like a little baby more than our dad when he watches those montages of people falling down stairs
Mm-hmm.
for 30 people falling in 30 seconds, and dad is crying.
I haven't seen it for a while.
Yeah, they had
I'm surprised he doesn't like watch more like on TikTok and stuff like that.
get dad a TikTok, and he's never gonna. He's
I
never
think he
said
has
that.
one. He sent me a video on TikTok once. It was how air fryers are
His
like
dad-
worse for your food than like on ovens and pans
Dad's looking
or
up
microwaves.
things to prove us wrong. He's just always looking for shit to be like.
Yes, because I
guys
tried to
do
get him
this
to
shit.
get that air fryer for a while, so I don't know how he came across.
We
that, but-
have an air fryer here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have one too.
Oh yeah, you guys have the Ninja though.
Yeah.
So mom got it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know who got it, but I mean, I'm
Mom-
assuming
Mom
mom got
got
it. Yeah.
So dad was like, Mason wants an air fryer. I don't think we should get one. And the mom's like, I'm gonna get an air fryer.
No, it took a while. I think it took a couple months at least of me talking about air fryers, and then
Oh, you-
they use it all the time.
You marketed them.
For sure.
You straight up marketed them.
Well, it makes sense because they use it all the time now. Like nobody
Yeah.
wants to reheat their meat in
The
microwave. Like, it's
yeah.
gross. I don't want to reheat fries in the microwave. That's
Yeah.
gross. I'm gonna reheat them in the air fryer.
I've started reheating my pizza in the air
Yeah,
fryer.
100%. Because you shouldn't reheat it in the microwave. Even with that water cup trick, I still don't like it.
You really don't like that?
I mean,
still
it
like
helps
it.
a little bit, but I
Yeah.
don't think it.
I think the air fryer does.
Air fryer is what you need.
It does the job 10 times over.
What I
'cause
do for pizza is I actually microwave it first for like 30 seconds, and then I put in the air fryer for like a minute.
Do you do the water trick when you microwave it?
No, I just want to get it hot and melt the cheese, and then I'll let it get crispy after that.
I wonder if you do it with the water trick though, because like I like that it'll add moisture to the
Yeah,
and
it's
then
probably
when
a
you
good
put
idea.
that, and then it makes it crispy.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
Dude, that's a smart idea.
I mean, people will reheat pizza on the pan with water.
yeah, I've seen that too. I don't like that as much. I did
never
that.
tried it.
I did it in college. I didn't like it as much. It was the thing that I have loved recently. I got a single waffle maker iron. It's this
I
big.
need that.
Dude,
I
you can
need
get
that.
it. You can get it from like Urban Outfitters. Like I'm like they sell knickknacks, and I'm like, it's like 15
I need
bucks.
that. I saw people making eggs in those.
Yeah,
I
I
want
don't-
to make an egg in there.
I don't know if I would do that.
Why?
Only because like the egg would stick even if you put a lot. It's like it's just gonna stick, and then trying to get a waffle egg.
Yeah, it looked good. It looked fire. It looked like a very easy, quick way to make eggs too.
I like making grilled cheeses with it.
Yeah.
Grilled cheese. You take like actually taking two buns, like ciabatta buns, and
Mhm.
like putting mayonnaise on the top of it, and then cheese. Dude,
Mm-hmm.
I tell people
Sounds really
this.
good.
I tell the people this all the time too with the grilled cheeses. Like if you're not grilling, I know most people do with like they grill their butter
Mm-hmm.
on the bread. Don't do butter anymore.
Mayo.
Do mayo.
Yeah, I've done mayo before.
It is so good.
So good.
It's a
Yeah.
game changer. I lost for 2 straight years at the grilled cheese competition in Winona because the guy who beat me
Was using mayo.
was using mayo the whole time, and I had all this fancy cheese.
They
I
had a
would go-
grilled cheese
Yeah,
competition.
we had a grilled cheese competition.
The fuck?
Yeah,
That's
crazy.
crazy.
So the two things I entered cooking wise, that one of them I tried to enter, the other one I didn't. The first one was the grilled cheese, and I would go to Walmart and buy like all these like exotic cheeses and like grill my thing with like this great freaking bread. I would spend like $100 just to like make my I would think it was going to be amazing. And then some guy with just like American cheese, like processed American cheese
Mhm.
and like regular white Wonder Bread would beat me for the first 2 years. And I was like, and I just started watching him that second year. I'm like, he's using fucking mayo.
Mhm.
And I just combined all of that. And then the next year, I won and he was there. And then he graduated and I won again. So I was like, fuck you.
Damn, did you get like awards?
That
from
was
this?
when I took second place both times, I got $60. And then when I won, it was $160. And then I accidentally entered grandma's banana bread into a baking contest.
Dude, what?
I didn't know it was a baking contest.
What do you mean?
I thought it was a bake sale. I went there
Okay.
and it's a big open room with like tables everywhere. Some of them have like those little canopies above
It's
them.
just so weird of me thinking about you doing the grilled cheese contest and bakery.
I
Going to
didn't
a
ma-
bake sale though.
I
Like, why would
didn't-
you go to a bake sale?
I didn't make the banana bread, so I was living with Melissa, and it was just me and her. And then she left for the weekend, and I had those mini loaves that she makes, and then I had the big loaf. So I took the big loaf, and I was gonna bring it to the bake sale because I thought, hey, it's for charity. I'm not gonna eat all this; it's gonna go bad. I'm about to go to class too. I had a Wednesday like 6 to 8:30 class. It was fucking awful. But on my way there, on my way from class, I had on Tuesday, I had noticed that they said there was gonna be a bake sale on Wednesday, and I was like, oh, I could sell my shit. So I go there, drop it off, and I go, do I have to be here for this? And they're like, no, like we can have somebody sell this for you. And I was like, okay, I gotta go to class. And they're like, all right, cool. I'm like, when does this close? And they're like 8 o'clock. And I go, well, my class is done at 8:30. Is there somebody gonna be here? And they're like, yeah, we'll be taking everything down by then. Like, all right, cool. I started to go home and I forgot about it, so I got there like 8:45. And there's nobody there. Like nobody's tearing anything down. There's no tables left. There's just 3 people standing in the corner. I go over to the corner and they are like, oh, are you the one with the banana bread? And I'm like, yeah. Is there any left? And they're like, no, we ate it all. Oh, and this is yours. They turn around and then they bring out a blue ribbon. I won the baking contest.
That is nuts, dude. Well, you mean grandma won it?
Grandma won the baking contest. I told her about that and she didn't believe me. So I took a picture and sent it to her and showed her, like, you won.
Yeah.
And you know grandma, she's too vain to ever enter her shit into a contest.
Right.
She would never do that. So when I say this, and I used to say this all the time as a joke, but now I can say it for real, our grandmother has award-winning banana bread.
Yeah, she absolutely does.
She absolutely fucking does. Like,
It's delicious.
Not on purpose. The judges were like, this was so good. And I was like, they're like, what's your secret? And I was just like, a good baker never reveals his secrets. And I walked out. And I just left. And I was just, that to me, I was just like, I started like feeling really bad because I was like, this is not mine.
Yeah.
Like, but none of the money went to me anyway. So I didn't make any money or anything.
Right. But still, that's cool.
A
Good for grandma.
well-deserving baker won that contest,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
My grandmother's fucking amazing at baking.
Yeah, she is.
I still miss like the apple pie. Like anytime she made meatloaf and mashed potatoes, like
I didn't think she was very good at making cookies, and then she would make them too hard. And then the last time she brought cookies over, they were not hard. They were soft, and they were so good. And I was just like, wow.
well, she
stepping
makes them
up her game.
crispy because Dad likes them like that. Dad loves them like super
I don't
crispy.
know. Last time, maybe he was just saying that for me, but last time I was like, we and him agreed on it. Like, she always makes the hard ones.
Well, maybe he is just because it's his mom.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, I don't want grandma.
It's not like
to
the hard
try.
ones weren't good. It's just they're not nearly as good as soft cookies in my eyes. Because
Yeah.
I like to microwave my cookies. So.
You're a big cookie guy.
Oh, dude, I love cookies. I had a bunch of cookies last night. I brought cookies over to Jordan's cabin.
Yeah, like I have to be in the mood for cookies. Like it's never just like, oh yeah, I could down a cookie. Like brownies, like I could eat a brownie at any time.
Yeah.
Like or like the Rice Krispie, I'd freaking anytime you give me a Rice Krispie. But like cookies, for some weird reason, they're just that weird nuance to me. And cake, we have cake in there in the refrigerator. It's not good anymore, but I just couldn't bring myself to eat more than like a piece.
Yeah, I'm not a cake guy for sure.
I think that frosting is just like it doesn't matter what type of frosting, whether it's that buttermilk.
I would do
or-
cream. I like cream cheese frosting.
The
That's
cream
about
cheese
it.
frosting is good, but then again, like it just after one or two
Yeah,
pieces, you're just
good.
like,
But I literally have done it twice this year. I've gotten a 13 tote of chocolate chip cookies from McDonald's and ate all 13 of them in the same night. Yeah, I did it for my birthday.
well,
I had to do it for my
I
birthday.
I didn't get to say happy birthday in person to you, but
It's all good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're
Thank
25 now?
26 now.
26, holy
Yeah, it's
shit.
crazy. You're getting old, man. You're about to turn 30.
Yeah, that's the other good. Yeah, and
That
I'm
is
sure
nuts.
anybody listening to this, if you are just listening to the audio, or if you're watching this on YouTube, Thank you, by the way. But yeah, him being taller than me doesn't mean he's my older brother. I'm the older brother.
Yes.
We get that wherever we go.
Now you don't even give people an opportunity. You just tell them, hey, my name's Taylor. I'm the older brother.
Yeah, I just diffuse it to start because like
you don't want to hear it.
well, or it's just like, well, then they start talking to you, like they're like, so how is the and then like it's just like I can tell that they think I'm your like sidekick. And I'm like, the fuck is this? I was the main character for 4 years. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, well, that's just the perks of being the baby child. Is that you only got that title for 4 years until I came around.
Yeah, well, they stopped after you because they realized they were like, we're not doing that again.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
No, that's what people, when we were growing up, like Ben Johnson, his younger brother, I'd hear them argue, and I was like, I'm glad we didn't argue like that. We were very tame in terms of like how they were fucking. Wish you were adopted. Wish you would die. It's just like, holy shit, bro.
No, yeah, I feel like you and me have had maybe like 4 or 5 fights like that got like
real ones
that got heated, but they didn't. It would always like the day later. It was like nothing happened. So
well, yeah, we quickly realized, like especially the golf course one, like our grandparents are watching.
Yeah,
we should probably stop because grandma, grandpa, their image matters to them so much, and I'm glad that it does because it teaches us some self.
I mean, I don't think it's in a bad way. I think they just like to carry themselves in a respectful way.
I'll mute all the swear words this time because I know Grandpa he watched our last one.
I mean, we've already cussed a few times.
It's mostly me, and I'm setting a bad example for him. But yeah, Grandpa said on the last time he watched us do a podcast, he's like, you could do without the swearing. Right. It might serve you better. And I'm like, I love his view on things because he's so wholesome. Mm-hmm. But obviously the world is changing now, and like to capture the minds of young kids, like they don't care about swearing. Like,
yeah, I definitely use it very sparingly in my job with coaching. So.
Yeah, with teaching, I think that's different. I think when you're a coach or a teacher, that is a very it's an interesting relationship where like you can't be their friend as often as you wish you could.
Right, and it's like they can't swear around me, so I don't want to do the double standard of swearing around them. Yep. I will swear around them if it's really important to make the point come across better, but I don't do it out of context, and I definitely don't do it very often around kids. So that has changed my vocabulary a little bit.
Do you think that like helps or hurts maybe like the emotion of the game? Because there's it's a big topic right now, like the emotions that players are allowed to show in the game is like in college, if you taunt your opponent, you're thrown out of a game. That's one of my most popular videos is literally talking about that.
Right, but it's also, I feel like they really started cracking down on it recently because I've seen a lot of trash talk in college baseball. Like it's like a lot. It's definitely becoming a huge thing with social media, and like I see TikTok videos of it's obviously not more than just baseball too, like every sport, like football, basketball, it's just everyone's talking shit to each other, so
and to the refs. Like it's not limited to umpiring, but like referees in basketball I've seen getting a lot of shit too, parents trying to fight them and stuff like that. But like it's the I talked about it in this video, and people were saying I was being a little too hyperbolic, and like that NCAA is cracking down on taunting and this and that, and I was like, that's not what I was talking about. I know the rules, like I understood that. I'm just talking about the judgment call that umpire has to still make. Like it's still a human being having to make that decision. Right. He can choose to give that team a warning or not. Mm-hmm. And even one of the guys in the comments was being a hypocrite. He's like, it's zero tolerance. Sometimes I give them a warning. I go, is it zero tolerance, or do you sometimes give them a warning? Right. Which one is it? Yeah. You just said that it's zero tolerance. That means you chuck everybody. That's
the thing, is that it's all based on how what that umpire's mood is at the time. You know what I mean? That affects so many of the ejection calls.
I think that it has a massive effect on it. And another comment, which is something I didn't even know, and I don't know if this is true, but it's something I didn't even think about. The NCAA might be taking out umpires who are not enforcing the taunting rule as often. If they see it happening and they give a warning, maybe that umpire doesn't get another job later in the year. I didn't even think about that. Like, I've always thought, like, hey, I'm going to do things to the best of my ability and let that take me as far as I can. I got to do districts 2 years in a row in a state where primarily you had to have 20 years of umpiring, and I only had maybe 4 or 5.
Right.
So I proved that like my skill was there. So in that scenario, I'm like, I'm still gonna err on the side of like caution. Like I'm gonna give these guys a warning and the benefit of the doubt before I just go quick to just tossing them. Even in a moment where they told me like, hey, you got to be aware of this. Especially in that second year, I went to districts. They're like, hey, a lot of these guys are trying to do this drop fly ball thing on the infield. We have to enforce it as a catch. That came to a point. It literally happened in the tournament. We called it the right way and we enforced it the same way. And yet we still, after the tournament, realized we did something wrong. And it's like, as an umpire, you should be able to do that and not have to fear that the governing body is going to take away your job.
Right. No, absolutely.
Because it took a lot of effort for us to like sit down and actually talk about those rules. And like taunting is not something that's like a part of the game technically. Like it's not a play that happens, but it's still something that you should talk about. Like, hey, if a player literally points at the other team and flicks the other team off, like, yeah, that's an instant ejection. But if he flexes and is super excited because he just struck out a guy in a 3-2 count in a tight situation, what do we do? And in the situation I covered, they just ejected the pitcher. Later on in the game, Florida hits a grand slam, and
that guy, that's the best celebration ever. Yeah.
I loved
no
that.
celebration
I
ever.
loved
Yeah,
that.
that was awesome.
That was perfect.
That was awesome.
And I was saying, like, they're going to take away the heart of the game if we don't allow these kids to show some emotion. I'm not saying take away, like enforce taunting. Yes, if he's sitting there, crotch chopping fucking like X-Pac and Triple H,
Right.
like then yes, of course, chuck the guy. But like if he's flexing because he just pulled off a tight situation, like okay, like err on the side of caution. So that's where I was, and I guess I can respond to that, the comments in the video. I should never respond to comments.
No.
I'm realizing that.
I mean, unless they're like positive. But if it's like they're just trying to start, I mean, if they're just, you can just see it as a conversation as well, though. It's cool to it's fine to disagree with people.
Some people have enlightened me to some things too,
Right.
which was nice. Because like the other one I did was like a breakdown of a black umpire getting called an Uncle Tom, and I didn't cover that in the video, and I wish I would have. But that was a part of the reason why he made this call on a strike a ball that was not a ball, or should have been a ball.
Right. And
he just ended the game, and both teams, the winning team and the losing team, were both like, what the hell just happened? He got suspended. But, I left out the part where he was being called an Uncle Tom by another black coach. So, like, there's some context there that, I wish I would have covered. But the main crux of it was, like, he should have just stopped the game and been like, hey, like, I'm not going to get called an Uncle Tom all game. It's either that or we end the game now.
Right.
Like this is getting too personal. Like, let's play baseball.
I mean, he could have just ejected the guy.
Could have ejected the coaches too. Could have there's so many other steps that could have happened before that last strike got called, and yet I'm getting told that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm like, wait a minute. Have I not umpired before? Have I not been in that situation? I have been in that situation. Like I'm so young looking that everyone thinks shouldn't you be coaching or umpiring Little League? Is some of the comments I got. One of the first calls I ever made, the guy goes, "Oh, it didn't take you long to fuck something up, did it?"
Yeah.
It's like you have to have tough skin.
Right.
But at some point when it gets personal, you just have to look at it and go, are we really doing this?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I deal with it all the time now that I'm coaching all year round. So.
Do you hear the parents? Like, are the parents getting bad
our parents are pretty good. I mean, they argue once in a while, but no, I think our parents are pretty good. I know in the last game I was making some jokes, and the umpires weren't taking them as jokes, and we were already 0-2 on the weekend, so I was kind of over it. Like, I wasn't like trying to be super nice guy. I was just making jokes out there, and they didn't realize I was making jokes, and they were getting pissed off at me, and it was just like, anyways, I deal with that stuff all the time, and you definitely have to play that game with the umpires and the other coach. You gotta be buddy with them, and otherwise, if they have any reason to not like you, they will make a call. Most of them will make a call not in your favor because they are,
It's sad that that's
not
a
connecting
thing. It's
with
just
you.
so sad that that's a thing.
Yeah.
Like, and that's something I did want to talk about because I've umpired you. Literally, I've umpired you in Little League. It was the same game. I didn't have a cup on. I got hit like right in the waist, and they were like, "Nope, you're gonna go to the field, and the other guy will do the plate." And then they found a cup magically, and I'm like, "What the? Where was this 2 innings ago?"
All right.
But I was umpiring you, and you came to the plate, and I rung you up, but it was like a normal. It was just a normal call. Like
Me striking out in Little League?
yeah,
I don't know
it didn't
about
happen
that.
very often. I know. You were one of the better Little League players, like not just like on your team, but like in that Little League.
Yeah, I know. That's why I don't remember this, but all right. Keep going.
You were
Keep
playing.
going.
You were playing the Cardinals. I remembered exactly the team. I remember you're wearing your Dodgers jersey. You're wearing blue. Field 1, and lights were on. It was a 7 o'clock game, but it was still bright out because it usually is. And yeah, first 2 pitches were in the dirt, and then the next 2 were inside. And you looked at me after the second inside one and kind of shook your
Dude,
head.
there's no way you remember this clearly. There's just no way. But I'll let you. I'll keep going with it. Yep,
Strike
keep
3 was
going.
on the outside corner,
Okay.
and you looked at me. I paused and I rung you up, and I remember you kind of looking at me for a second in the box and just shaking your head and going back to the dugout. And like after the game, I think you said something like, "You could have let me have one more." Like, because it was a 2-2 count, and I was like, could have let you get to full count, but I'm gonna call it like I see it. If it catches that corner, it's a strike. You should have swung, and
Yeah, I feel it, man. I tell my kids that all the time. Anytime it's close,
gotta
definitely
protect
swing
the
it.
plate. That was not your last year. That was your second to last year. I do
My
remember
first year in majors. Yeah.
because it wasn't the year that you went and played Edina twice. I remember that was the second year.
Playing Edina was actually when I was 10.
What was
10-year All-Stars.
What was the team that beat you guys when you guys were trying to go to Indy?
Well, the first team that we lost to was Plymouth New Hope,
Plymouth New.
and that's the team that ended up actually going to Williamsport that year.
That's right.
And then we lost to Coon Rapids American after that because we were already kind of
bummed.
out of it. So
I remember that now. I thought it was. Why did I think it was? It's because of Coach Cleveland.
yeah, Dino came in the
Dino too.
dugout and said he hates
I
Edina.
hate Edina.
Yeah, that was 10-year-old All Stars. Actually,
That was a mantra for. It still is my mantra. I fucking
Yeah.
hate Edina.
I definitely think about that every time I hear Edina.
There's a TikTok. This dude's like, he was acting like he was rich, and he had like a fake gold chain. Was wearing like this open shirt, and he's like, "I live in Edina. Check out my car. He's like my Mach 3 Tesla, and it's like a Honda Accord." And then he's like, "Look at my 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom house," and it's like a tiny little like little nook. And he's just like, "I live in Edina. I'm better than you."
That's a good TikTok.
And I was like, "Yeah, that's fucking
funny.
hilarious." Because everyone in Edina thinks they're better than you.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what state you're in. Edina thinks they're better than you. Fact.
I feel like I should tell the audience about what happened to my key fob this
Yeah,
morning.
He's been messing with it since we got in here.
So yeah, I can't stop thinking about how forgetful I can be sometimes. So
Us prices can be.
yep. Dad always apologizes for that, but I can't
does.
let him. I can't let him take all responsibility. But anyways, leaving my buddy Jordan's cabin this morning, and I left my keys on top of the car. And I'm driving down the road, and I hear something slide off, and I'm like, "What was that?" And I look back, and my keys are in the middle of the road. So I, quickly turned around and picked them up, and I had a bunch of stuff on there. I had a whistle for Complete Athlete that was shattered. Everything was pretty in rough. It was in pretty rough shape. This key fob was in pretty rough shape, and I have one of those cars that's push to start. So when I came back into the car and started driving again, I saw that I was with Tyler, by the way, my friend Tyler, and I noticed on the dashboard it said car key removed from the car as we were driving, and I was just like, all right, that's not good. It's not sensing that this fob is in the car. And so we get to the breakfast place that we were going to, and I was like, man, I kind of want to leave my car on because I don't want this to not turn my car back on when I need to leave. So we were 2 hours away from anybody.
And then leaving your car on while you're going in to go get food. That's even sketchy.
Yeah, that's also sketchy. Even though it's a small town, you never know. So Tyler convinced me. He's like, hey, let's just try it. Let's just see if it works right now. It's going to work. Turn my car off. It's not working. I can't turn my car back on. It's not sensing the car, the key fob. And I do have like a little slot that I can put it in, but I don't need to put it in there.
You should just be able to leave the key fob in there and start the car.
And that's what I did, but that's what Tyler suggested I do. I was like, that's not going to make it start. Like, it's going to, usually my car starts if the key fob is in the car at all, it'll start.
It'll start if you're like just like 2 feet away from it even. Like, I remember mom's car is the same car, literally.
Right.
I held it outside of it and it works.
So I was like, there's no way that's going to work. And sure enough, when I put it in there, it worked. But right now, my car it won't lock or unlock from this. So this key fob is basically the only thing I can do is put it in the slot that it has in there, and then I can start my car. But moral of the story is I'm very forgetful.
I'm pretty sure this is a key though.
I don't really want to mess with it though.
This is a key.
Oh, cool.
So if you need, it's bent, but if you need to like open the door,
Okay. I did not know that.
so you can lock the doors. So you can get it.
Okay.
I would test this out beforehand.
Right. Especially now that it's bent a little bit.
It's bent. Yeah, it's not bent at the worst spot either. It's bent back here, so you should be all right.
Dang, dude.
But yeah, somebody definitely ran this over.
Yeah. Yeah, I had friends following me, so they definitely ran it over.
You have some good friends.
They didn't mean to, but I definitely blamed it on them at the breakfast. Dude,
Was that Mason's keys that we just ran over?
Dude, the breakfast spot we were at today was called Schatzky's.
Shatsky.
SCHATKYS or something like that, or whatever.
You just
Some
hurt
German.
you just hurt my brain.
It's German. I don't know what it is with these small towns, but they always have the best breakfast places. It was amazing. They had the French toast was amazing. The service was amazing, of course. I had corned beef hash. That was amazing. The hollandaise sauce was amazing.
So you're saying the Germans are back?
They literally had a Shotsky. The Germans are back. What the hell? It was.
That was the stupidest thing.
That was dumb.
That was
super.
That was an
dumb.
intrusive thought, and I just let that.
The
one
Germans are back.
They're back.
Anyways, so one of the omelets was called the Shotsky's omelet, and it had sauerkraut, and I was like, nah, that's gross.
Yeah, we both don't like. Our grandfather loves that shit.
Yep. But no, dude, we all tipped her like it was because we had like 8 people, and we split. Everybody paid 8 different bills, and we like were being very like a lot of us were hungover, and we were being very respectful, but we were like not demanding. We kept asking for stuff. We were asking for tons of different types of drinks, like apple juice, chocolate milk,
I need
coffee,
chocolate juice.
coffee, blueberry syrup instead of regular syrup, hot sauce, ketchup. Like,
Wait, who wanted the blueberry syrup?
Hannah was her. It's back on.
Is it back on?
Yeah.
Okay. It says it's off, but I hope this has been working.
Should we find out?
Yeah, I'm gonna test this.